go ahead and make sure. An inanimate object worshipped for its supposed magical powers or because it is considered to be inhabited by a spirit. A form of sexual desire in which gratification is strongly linked to a particular object or activity or a part of the body other than the sexual organs. And then shout out to you, Georgie. This can be kind of strange, but I want to hear your opinion on two topics. First is fetishes, and second is not nutting. Like, I think you have called this life force and energy, yes. And yeah, basically that's it. Can you give me some thoughts? And the thing is, too, I need to go back to my DM real quick. But Celestial Rising, Divine Afternoon, and Grand Night to the beautiful Divine Mirage watching this mindful message. As your Divine Reflection, Divine Messenger. And we are back with another higher observation of unconsciousness that isn't aware of itself yet till the articulation comes about from consciousness. But how can consciousness articulate itself when energy never talked? So I asked him, what do you want my thoughts on specifically though? Fetishes, how, why, what are they? I mean, the thing is, in a nutshell, so here's the key points I had too, that I put in my notes. And I realized, and we can go ahead and y'all can look at this water. I'm not gonna play the sound because I don't want to get copyrighted, but I realized that, and I just had the homework for, my notes on my iPad and all that. But I understood that fetishes are the things that have been deeply conditioned into the lower parts of ourselves, and they were imprinted on an early age that was over-sexualized upon an age that we weren't really aware of when we were paying attention to these certain things. So I realized too that a lot of these fetishes came from the associations that we have made from childhood traumas or situations from a young age. And the thing is, this came from even being in secret with the trauma, so hiding it, taking it on for yourself, and then being shameful of that, so you keep it a secret. Because if you like licking the back of someone's ear, for example, you may feel ashamed for doing that, so you keep it a secret. Not only just that though, people feel emotionally neglected because you want to do it for somebody or with someone, but they don't want to hear you out, or they're not respecting you, or they maybe expose you for even thinking like that. That's where all these different forms of the trauma starts being rooted down to their lower self, because they're not being heard, and the things that satisfy them is not being pleased for them. So that's how the fetish can turn into a way of controlling the beings that want to do this symbolic imagery within the person that they are with, including themselves as well. Because a lot of times too, a fetish will imprint itself into wanting to have the person feel connected with controlling them by stimulating something that's supposed to be a sacred act. But a lot of times they don't have control of their urges or their desires. So that fetish is a way for them to pave a narrative for them to start feeding themselves into doing the things that they want to do over the other person's pleasures. Because the person may want to be satisfied in a certain way, but then the being, when they get that green light to let go and release, that's when there's no controlling this entity that needed to satisfy the lust that it was secretly hiding from the world. I understood too that a fetish is not necessarily a good or bad thing, but it's basically just showing you the energetic patterns that many people are deeply not able to start seeing or paying attention to, because the energy that they hold on to has not been articulated by themselves nor studied by themselves. So I realized that, for one, when you get this message from the fetish, you're basically seeing that your subconscious mind wants you to have sometimes safety over that pleasure, but the safety in that pleasure is where that power comes in. That safety within that pleasure shows you where the power is coming from. Because when the person that you want to do a fetish with, when they make you feel safe, when they make you feel heard, when they make you feel as if you're on top of the world, that's how you become powerful. Because somebody's validation is showing you what they see in your vision, because they can't see themselves in their vision, so they have to follow yours. That's now how you're able to start going along with them, pleasing them and yourself as well, because you feel as if my fantasy can be satisfied and pleased because somebody will allow me to do it. That's when the power dynamic starts being fluctuated. And I think it's so I understood that when beings depend on this fetish or whatever the case may be, they're trapping themselves in the lower dimension because their energy is not able to become conscious again, because they're being stuck in their lower way as a dickhead. So I realized that when the fetish is not handled correctly, it's now going to control your lower vibrational field of your auric awareness. Because when your auric field is aware of itself, you now start doing things for better energetic alignments that help please you and satisfy you. So a lot of times you're not going to do a fetish that your woman does not want you to be in tune with, because she's not into that. So if you are into that and she's not, what are you going to do as a man? A lot of times the man can't control his lust or his lower way. So through his animal nature, he's going to go and find somebody else who can align with his nature while still being with this woman and not telling her what he's going through, but she'll end up noticing to her intuition, and then he'll get upset about that. But that's the thing right there though. When you allow yourself to be trapped in that lower dimension, for the third key point, you realize that you're keeping your energy in a lower repetitive fantasy that you can escape from through the loops of dopamine that's pleasing you through illusions that you think you're pleased by, but you're not pleased by these illusions. You're just being stuck in a lower way of pleasure that isn't pleased with itself. That's what I understood too. If you're not able to transcend that by having a purpose that you love or a deeper connection, then you'll be placed in damnation through your fetishes, by the way. And I have a whole list too of different fetishes that people are into. And there was some I didn't put down because it was just too wild. It was too wild. Now, also, if you see my last video as well with Michael B. Jordan for that part 4, whatever the case may be, I realized too, a fetish still comes from artificial programming. Because a lot of times too, even with adolescents, even with children, kids, whatever the case may be, young adults, even older adults, a lot of times they have to find their fetishes through the media. Because you don't just wake up one day and just start saying, oh, I want to lick some toes. No, where do you get this stuff from? You're trained to watch it through the media or social media or your family or on your phone, pornography, whatever the case may be. You're watching it on certain outlets that you attach yourself to, because that's how you feel whole again when you release. When you release yourself, you feel as if me letting go of my energy, my sexual energy that can help me be creative, you feel as if that's the one thing that will make you feel complete again, because you're letting go of the things that you were holding on to. But that's the excuse that some people will use, and they don't want to hold themselves accountable for retaining their energy like they should be doing. Because that's exactly why too, Shaolin monks, they're the strongest human beings in this dimension, because they don't release. All they do is meditate and they train. Meditate and they train. Meditate and they train. They fast. They take care of themselves. That's exactly why they're always out there constantly going to war with their mind, because they're conquering their mind. So I'm pretty sure they can levitate, because they're just that light. They don't have to go down from the mountains and go eat fast food, eat at restaurants. They don't care to be on their phone. They don't care to scroll on social media all day. They don't give a fuck about any of that. They want to live a purified lifestyle. That's exactly why many people who go into the mountains with the monks and go hang out with them for a certain period of time, you come back a changed being in transcendence, because they know what transcendence means. That's exactly why they stay in the mountains. Now, I realize too, social media will also plant a lot of fetishes that will degrade human consciousness. Not only just that, not a lot of consciousness, but a lot of fetishes are not natural to our way of living. So it had to be engineered. So one of them I realized was voyeurism and exhibitionism. And this is the beings that want to seek validation, the beings that get a thrill from being seen or watching without being involved. That comes from being neglected or having a lack of boundaries. That's artificial programming. Because it's weird to me how even at my summer camp, when I see, and it's crazy how I was like, that's a fetish, that's interesting, because they're addicted to it. And the thing is, when you've been over-sexualized, your body gets a craving from being seen, because now it's just like, oh, it turns on your mindset, your subconscious mind. And we don't know how people's body works at certain ages, but the thing is though, only they know what they go through. That's why they keep on doing it. So for example, as a man, if you go to a beach or whatever and you're just looking at women's asses all day and you get turned on by that, that would be a fetish, by the way, because you're sitting, I don't know what the name would be for that, but you're infatuated by the body part that you objectify, because it's what you want to be next to, it's what you want to be behind, because you want to see it move, you want to see it vibrate at a certain frequency that you want to get next to. And the thing is, you start releasing, you start doing weird shit, you start having fantasies in your mind that you want to get close to with the woman that you see walk past you, but yet you're not sitting there focusing on the fact that you are putting her in an objectified reality that you can't even sit with, and yet you want to sit next to that identity that you follow, and you can't even follow it correctly, because as you see her walking by, you won't even ask her what her name is, but you attach this sexual figurine that she may not identify with. Secretly, she may, but if you don't know who she is, then why are you putting her in that fantasy that she might not even want to be next to? She may be abstinent for all we know. She could be celibate for all we know. We never really know, but if you don't go up and talk to her and treat her like a human being, because I hope you know, women are actually people. They're not robots. They're not sexual objects or sex dolls. They are people. They have brains, they have a heart, they have an intuition, they have a feeling and an inner knowing that a man cannot comprehend if he's not in tune with his feminine and divine masculine side. Now, the last one. A fetish can be healed and transmuted into a better way of feeling for themselves and a partner as well. And I realize that too. You can become aware of a root for the fetish if you are able to see the unmet needs behind the fetish that you identify with. And I realize too, you have to rechannel that energy into saving your energy. So this aligns too with the semen retention question as well that you were asking me, Georgie, because, for example, a foot fetish. The thing is, I do like pretty toes. I do like pretty feet. But it's not in my mind to suck on toes. It's not in my mind to lust after toes and lick my lips and be like, damn, her toes look nice. I want to just salivate all over them. No. That's not me. Because for one, it's not important. I transmute that energy because if I sit in my lustful thoughts, my nature want to act on them. After a while, it'll start getting angry, it'll start getting upset. Now I have to control and tame this lion. I gotta tame this beast from wanting to do what it wants to do. And if it does it, who knows what could happen? Many attachments, many other things that I just don't want to identify with. So therefore, I sit back and move the energy into my mind. Because when you're harboring this energy, because the thing is too, you gotta harvest your own energy. Because the energy is harvesting you into acting upon the play of a fetish. But when you let go of that title and the action of the title, you start recalibrating your mindset that you let go of. But because you're so in tune with yourself now, you sit with yourself and say to yourself, you know what? It's not that important to even want to satisfy this person that I don't know. Because for one, if I can't satisfy my future, then how can I have sex when I can't make it a main priority just yet? I still got things to do, so I can't sit here and fantasize over someone's body parts that doesn't align with me, because their body can look good all at once. I can have a fantasy all I want for their body, but if their spiritual journey is not aligning with what I'm doing for my lifestyle, what's the point then? I'm just going to be descending into their vibration. I can't live with that. I would basically be spiritually tormenting myself and being in damnation if I was to lead a simulation tomorrow, a month from now. Who knows? But I don't want to take that chance. So therefore, a risk I'm going to take is saving my energy. And if I feel that way about a woman or whatever the case may be, I'm going to sit there and say, you know what? I can adore it. I'm going to treat her like art. I can look at it, say, that's nice. That looks good for sure. Put that right back into my mind. Put it into my purpose, because I feel like the simulation will give me a woman who's already at a divine frequency. And then when she matches that alignment, it won't be so hard to make those fetishes come true. But I don't have those weird fetishes that people got going on. That shit's so weird to me. But I realized too, you shouldn't want to get rid of those choices that you internally keep secret, because your partner, your spouse may really enjoy that with you. And the thing is too, it's supposed to be spontaneous. So I don't really call it sex, but it's the act of it. But I would say it's the alchemical resonance that you both are ascended into coming together or being together as you come to your senses together. Because when you're doing alchemy, you're not having sex anymore. You're having sex, but it's not a one-way street. The alchemical process for doing this is the fact that you want to see and satisfy your partner first. That's usually how I do it. Satisfy your partner first to see them come to their senses, see them squirt, see them orgasm, see them find ways to release their darkest thoughts and put them into the light. When you're doing that, now she gets turned on. The thing is too, when you see her, give her a hug. Look her in her solar awareness. Appreciate her. When she does that, or when she looks into you and she sees that you notice her being herself, being a woman, then she'll get wet for you. Now she's just waiting for you to get ready, because she's ready for you. She's just making sure that you're on the same exact page as her. So she won't force anything, but she'll wait for your guidance. Because then when it's all said and done, she'll let you touch all over her. She'll let you touch her. I want to get to in that fantasy, because I know there's a woman right now who's just like, whoa, relax, sweetheart. But there's a woman out there who will want you to do that for her, touch all over her, choke her. She wants you to bend her over. She wants you to kiss all over her, touch all over her hot spots, whatever, in between her thighs, around her waist, around her neck, caress her arms, whatever the case may be. Make her feel safe. Make her feel alive again. Bring her into that consciousness. And when you see her squirt, say, that's a good girl. Keep doing that for me. Release all those thoughts. Release all those thoughts that you had from this past week. Show me what you made of. That's a good girl. You keep doing that, come on, my nigga. It's too easy at that point. That's exactly why you shouldn't really get rid of it. But bring it into the part of your spirit that you got trapped inside of. When you stop being trapped in your lower way of pleasing yourself, you start pleasing her. Because now when you start pleasing her and she knows that you do it consistently, boy, you don't got to worry about getting pleased, I should say. You don't have to worry about gifts. You don't got to worry about being showered with love, because even if you're not together, she always knows that's her man. Every time she see you working, she'll always support you, because look at what you did to her. She had an accident in her pants because of you, and she won't tell you, but when you feel it, you might, damn, how long has this been going on? Just before I seen you. And when I seen you, it just got even wetter. Her thoughts are flowing for you, brother, because you're helping her see a better side of her unconsciousness, and she loves it. That's why she cares about you. Now, the list of fetishes I had: so foot fetish, domination and submission, BDSM, role play or uniform fetish, voyeurism and exhibitionism. We already talked about that. Feet, hands, or specific body parts, objectophilia, age play, pain and masochism, choking or breath control, and public sex or risk fetishes. So the foot one, which will basically come from submissive and dominant energy or imbalances. And I think it's to a lot of children have been exposed for even exposing their feet. There are some people on the dark web, there's some people on the internet right now who take pictures of baby feet and they put it on the internet, and they're going for millions of dollars right now. It's a sick world. Or it can be a symbolic worship for the lowest part of their body. So many people do worship the lowest part of people's bodies, like the ass, the thighs, the kneecaps, the back of the legs, the ankles, the cankles, the foot, the back of the foot, side of the foot, the toes, toenail, the pinky toe, the big toe. That's a fetish. All that shit is weird. Now, the domination and submission, BDSM. So now this can also be, this is all power imbalances. But the thing is too, the need to surrender or control due to emotional repression or trauma. So a lot of times when people overdo it, that'll be considered ape. And a lot of times too, there are many people in this world who are okay with being aped. That is actually a fetish as well. There are people who are willingly wanting to get aped because they want to be submissive. They want to be dominated to that extent. Because it's all they know. It's all they know. They've been introduced to it at a young age from child exposure, and now look at them. It's weird. Weird as fuck. And the thing is, these are categories in porn. That's exactly why, if you still watch it, you're a weirdo. No bullshit, you are weird. Because, like, I don't want to get into that. That shit's so weird. Role play and then uniform fetish. So it's like a desire to escape your identity, and you're going outside of a suppressed side of yourself, and you're romanticizing a taboo authority figure that has no authority in their figure, that they think they figured out. So it's like Spider-Man and Spider-Woman, excuse me, or cop and then prisoner. You got maid and then butler, or celebrity and then stripper, or whatever the case may be. A fan and then you got a model or whatever. It's just so many different fetishes. It's just like, it's weird, and it's a role play. So you can be with your girl, your partner, whoever, you're in your house, and then she comes out of nowhere just in a maid outfit saying, hey, can I clean this for you? And then bending over, you looking like yes, and y'all acting like y'all don't know each other, whatever, but the whole entire time you're just playing a role. And the thing is too, I don't think role play is bad for spicing up your sex life. I feel like after a while, unless you just got like that, but after a while, that basic sex may get boring. So it's like, spice it up. Why not dress up and do things for y'all? I mean, because I feel like it'll get even better. She'll get even wetter. That's all I'm saying. That's why it's not good and bad, but it's bad if you can't control it. feet, hands, or specific body parts. So this basically came from as well from a focal sexual imprinting. And thing is too, pleasure got mentally locked to a specific feature due to early associations. That's exactly why too a lot of women are infatuated with hands. So my hands are big, and the thing is too I have long fingers. So the thing is, if you are a woman and you see that I have made like my hands are so big I can palm a basketball. I can palm two of them. But because of that, you see this is basically like so this is the gallon. This is like my hand covering majority of the bottle. So it's like I can basically do this with the gallon of water. Well, now I'm gonna drop that motherfucker, but I can hold it like that. So it's like if there wasn't enough water, I would be able to hold the whole thing, but I don't want to spill it on myself. But that's a fetish because for some women in their childhood, there was a man that they trusted who violated them, but used their hands to caress them in a way that was confusing to their mind. Literally, their mind is complex. So you can't fault them for what they were introduced to by a man that they trusted. I can see why they say niggas ain't shit. I can see why they say they despise men. Men are disgusting who can't control their lust. Objectophilia, attraction to objects. So you have I'll basically say you substitute a certain bond that you emotionally are detached from. And then when you bond with inanimate objects, you lose human association and the connection to humanity. There are some people who, for example, there are people who have sex with the car exhaust. There are some people who will put their meat in a car, like the exhaustion for the car that has a little shit coming out the back of it, whatever. Somebody will put their dick in it. There's some people who will fuck a tire. There's some people who will fuck the gas, the little hole for the gas tank or whatever. They'll fuck that. They'll have sex with that. There's some people who have sex with a door. There are some people who have sex with a doorknob. They will let go the doorknob and then they'll just have sex with it. Pocket pussy, dildos. There are some people who have sex with a robot. There are some people who have sex with a ring light, a gallon of water. There's so many things that people have sex with. You just don't even think about it because they are lost. They're not even in humanity anymore. So there's no point of even talking to them or about them. Age play. So inner child wounds as well. So like that daddy little girl fantasy and all that shit, weird. So it's like that power and fluctuation. And then of course the childhood wounds as well. And a sad state of a parental relationship that never got solved. But this also comes down to emotional regression. But a lot of times when people got this fantasy, a lot of times the person who's in charge of the action or whatever, they gotta stop doing that. Because after a while, you basically, if you are a man and you're treating your wife or whatever like a little girl, you basically, and there's some men out there who treat their wife like a daughter. And if you think that this wife is your daughter in this age play, you fucking your daughter. You a weirdo. And there are some men out there, and you cannot sit here and say I'm lying because there are some women who have stories that will blow your mind. There are some men out here who will rape their daughter, who will ape their daughter, excuse me. Literally, they will ape their daughter because that's what they've been introduced to. And the thing is too, they don't even know what they're doing because they know what they're doing. They've been doing it for so long, they have no idea why they're doing it anymore. They're addicted to their fetishes. Weirdo, sick, it's nasty, it's nasty. All right, pain and masochism comes from trauma bonding, emotional numbness, or a subconscious belief that the pain that you go through will equal love or attention. So a lot of women, if you've seen a woman or even a man as well who gets beat on, have you seen on social media, there'll be a lot of men who will get punched on in the face by their woman or whatever, and they start crying and shit, but they just taking it. They just like, I like that shit. And it's like they're going back and forth fighting. That's a fetish. That would basically be called masochism or just pain. That's a fetish, by the way, because that's how they bond through trauma. I've seen some couples unwillingly on the internet who would punch on each other. Like the man would punch her, then she punch him, the niggas fighting like niggas at that point. And the thing is too, it basically probably is two niggas fighting each other and shit. But it's crazy because it's like they feel as if that's how they get attention, by punching on each other, by hitting each other. So when a girl says, punch me in my face, there's some niggas who will do that shit. So when people say, why do you got a black eye? Oh, I just fell down or I got into a fight. But it's like, girl, you've been having the same black eye for every month that I've seen you. You don't know what she's into behind closed doors. Don't judge your friend. Remember, judge free zone. Shit's weird. choking and breath control. So a lot of times too, it's like you're going to the extreme for a trust and surrender fantasy. And once again, it's still going to be linked to trauma through the stimulation of the mind and basically feeling the need to intensify the feeling of feeling alive. So when you choke her, you got to find that moderation of not letting the control of your urges control your mind to where you choke her out to the point to where she loses her breath. You have to control, if you're going to choke her, it's like, for example, if I also do it to a woman, it's like I'm gonna make sure that she knows that she's safe with me. She don't gotta be fearful or anything like that. So if I choke her, it's like you gotta at least do like missionary, for example. So you get your arm, get your hand, whatever, and you make sure you put it by her neck, whatever the case may be. You don't choke too hard, but you do it just right. It has to be just accurate. When you're doing that, you stroke her lower mindset. And then you please her higher mindset by talking into her ear, sending affirmations. But the whole entire time, though, you got to be stroking it. So the thing is, too, if you're not tall, you can't relate to what I'm talking about because I have long limbs. So it's just that easy. I could be sitting here doing it, and my arms are so long, I could be choking her while still just stroking it like that and then talking to her ear at the exact same time. So it won't do me no disservice. But to people who don't have long limbs or whatever the case may be, a long abdomen, you got to be able to work with what you got. So if you don't have long arms, it's okay. You can still do the exact same thing, but you got to be able to work with what you got. Work with what you got because she'll still care for you when you're doing it for her as well to please her, and she'll please you. And as you're doing that, once again, you don't do it too hard, but you make sure that she's comfortable with it. You okay with that? Of course, she'll call you daddy because now you're guiding her. She'll be like, yes, daddy. Boom. As you're doing that, you take care. Pause. But then as you're doing that, you're choking her. Now you're stroking her. By just stroking her though, you're not going fast, you're not going slow. Find that rhythm. It's a dance. Now you're dancing with her. When you dance with her, now you tell her breathe, breathe. And when you do that, talk to her through her orgasm, and she'll love you. So she will see you in a whole different realm that you've never seen before. And things she'll do for you will be unmatched. I'm gonna stop right there though, because I could make a whole video on that, but we not, yeah. And then the last thing too, having sex out in public or having a risk fetish. And the thing is too, that's just basically wanting to seek adrenaline. You've been conditioned to do it for so long, you get a thrill out of doing things in the restroom or in the movie theater or in a park or at an event, at a function, at the club, in the pool, on a roof, at a restaurant, whatever the case may be. And a lot of that too, you may lack boundaries. And the thing is, you may want to, a lot of people do this because they are internally numb. So to fill that void, they have to start doing things to get that thrill again, to feel whole, to feel alive. That's exactly why too, this whole entire thing is mind control, which is exactly why too, to control that mindset of living in that lower way of existing, you have to want to sit here and realize what your emotions are creating by just being intense with yourself. Being honest every single day by telling yourself, when you have that fantasy, no, go do a push-up. You're laying there just thinking, man, I want to touch myself. No, you do not. No, you do not. No, you do not. Okay, damn, chill. That's what I thought. We're not doing that. Get some sit-ups in. Go do your book. Go write in your journal. Go make a video. Go do something for yourself. Now you get up and you go do it. You're not focusing on that anymore because you're transmitting your energy. That's why you have to save. You got to save yourself for the one that will make sure that when she swallows your energy, when she takes it on herself, puts it on herself, whatever the case may be, she's doing you a service by even letting you release for a betterment for yourself. Because it's all alchemy anyways. If you release and you feel depleted, that's not yours. That ain't your woman. That ain't your man. When you release, you should feel motivated. You should feel like a better man when you release because she gives you that certain vibration that you can relate to because you want to work on yourself just for her to sit there in the door. She adores that you're not feeling like you wasted your time by sleeping with her. And the thing is, you're not doing it for one period of time or a temporary period of time. No, you're getting to know her. You're taking her out. You're taking care of her. You're showing her a new world that she may not have been introduced to. Once you do that, there's no point in putting a title to it. Now, you can put a title to it if you want to, but get to know her. A lot of times, too, she will want to do it on the first day, but treat her like a woman. You had to. That's exactly why, too, when you stop being confused, you stop being in pain, you don't worry about sex all the time because it's like You can have it whenever you want, but that's the thing though. You gotta test yourself. That's all it is. Life is a test. So to your second part too, like not nutting, and you said I call this life force or energy, but the thing is, you're going to nut. You're going to bust a nut. You're going to come to your sensations eventually. The thing is, too, you have a wet dream, but your wet dream is not you having sex, because remember, when you're going to bed at night, you're not really conscious, but you can still be conscious to a certain extent. But mentally, you're not. You're not in this dimension really. You know, physically you are here, but mentally you're in a whole different realm. So when you have a wet dream, you're just going to war for when your body has to release itself so you don't get prostate cancer. Not only just that though, it's helping you release the fluids that were already embedded within you. And it was going to happen no matter what anyways. It's your body working within itself. It's your nature. So you can't get mad and say, I relapsed. No, you didn't. You'll relapse if you're conscious watching this video and then you go out and just start having sex. So you can be on year 5 of retaining your energy or ejaculation control. And then on year 5, when you release, you may feel bad. That's how you know you lost. If you feel bad after you release, you shouldn't have did it in the first place. If you feel good after you release, you're doing something great for yourself. You're now transmitting your energy and your emotions into a higher way of existing. And the thing is too, when you are retaining your energy, you'll look better, you'll feel better, you sound better, you think better, you think more clear. You find more clarity in the thoughts that you exude to the world. To the points where now when people look at you, they're staring at your energy, not you. They're so in love with you, they don't know how to even talk to you, but they respect you. They respect you so much to where you don't even got to overwork yourself. Look at what you do for the children. They adore you, they appreciate you more than them. And how do I know? I see it with myself every single day. Even just retaining your energy, you do better decisions. You make better outcomes happen for your lifestyle. You formulate a purpose and then you stand by it every single day. You have your own schedule. You have your own agenda when you get up and when you go to work every single day or you go to school every single day. You're working for a better version of yourself every single day. That's exactly why I advocate for controlling your energy and not releasing and having sex every day. Control your urges and your lust. Because your lust will urge you to release. And when you do and you don't know where to put that energy at, now you'll constantly be depleted, and depleted. That's exactly why you got to ask yourself, if you're not having sex or you're not doing alchemy, what is your why and why you're doing it for yourself? Why are you releasing? Why are you releasing with this person if you don't see a future with them? What are you wasting your time for? If you don't know where you're putting this energy, then why are you doing it with her or with him? If you're going through something in life and you don't know why you're going through it, but you can figure out why you want to have sex with this person at this time, at their place, or whatever the case may be, you need to get your priorities straight. Say, you know what, I don't got time for this right now. This focus on my lower way of being is just not pleasing no more. So to please my future, I got to put my urges to a hold and then guide my lust into transmuting itself into my mind so that I can build for my family or my future family's lineage. Have a great and divine day, divine reflection.